Hello and welcome. And so today I wanted to talk about why do we say to sell someone down the river. I do like delving into the origins of different sayings like this, and this one has some pretty dark and disturbing origins, and I'll tell you that much. And it's also straight out of a dark stain on American history. Anyway, so before we get into the disturbing origins of the saying, what does it mean? Pretty much means the same thing as when we say to throw someone under the bus. Uh, Either way, to sell someone down the river or to throw someone under the bus, what you're doing is you're utterly betraying them only to profit from said betrayal yourself. And so that's what to throw someone under the bus means. That's also what to sell someone down the river means. And to throw someone under the bus looks pretty disturbing itself, right? That's pretty violent and terrible thing to do. But like I said, to sell someone down the river has some even darker and more disturbing origins. And so let's get into them. And the river in question here is the Mississippi River. And so we're talking from the first half, more or less, of the 19th century. So just pre-Civil War days and all that. And so this map is a little uh well, is a little too updated for this. We didn't have quite as many as many states back then. And so what's it all about? Well, in the 19th century, in the early 19th century, we're talking 1807, Congress passed a law that went into effect in 1808, which banned the importing of any slaves. Because remember, pre Civil War, slavery was a big part of the American economy, especially down south, but also in some other states as well. And so after 1808, it was not legal to import slaves into the US from other countries anymore. But sadly, there was still an internal slave trade going on within the US. And that's where the expression to sell someone down the river comes from. The river in question was the Mississippi River. And the idea was that this expression comes from literally shipping people down the Mississippi River to then go be sold at a slave auction down south. Well, in the slave market down south, anyway. And so that's where this expression comes from. And it makes a lot of sense why, uh, since this is a reference to shipping people down the Mississippi to get sold and at the slave market down in the south. Um, yeah, that's super disturbing of these origins. And yeah, so that's why this expression to this day means to utterly betray somebody and then to profit from that betrayal, because that's literally what people were doing when they were shipping slaves down south to be sold for a profit, of course. It's, yeah, pretty, pretty upsetting. And so here's one such slaves market in this painting anyway. And so yeah, so that's the upsetting origins of to sell someone down the river. It's all about sending them down the Mississippi to be sold at the slave market. And, and yeah, so it's to sell someone down the river is pretty darn bad. You utterly betray them and then profit from it, but it comes from a place that's even worse, which is actual slavery. And so this again, this is from more or less the first half of the 19th century, so from 1808 until pretty much, well, the 1860s are when the Civil War happened. So this little expression comes from that little piece of American history, and it's pretty darn upsetting. But anyway, please do give this video a thumbs up. And thanks for watching with me. And yeah, I will catch you around next time. Bye bye.